All right, so welcome back. Sorry about those technical difficulties, but we're here with an interview now. So a couple weeks ago, Heath Mayo got an article published in the BDH that called for more political diversity at Brown. And with us today, we have Ryan Fleming, who is a member of the Brown Republicans and an editor of The Spectator, which is Brown's conservative libertarian magazine. And we just wanted to talk to him a little bit about politics at Brown. First, Ryan, could you, for some of our viewers who maybe aren't familiar with those two groups on campus, can you tell us a little bit about what The Spectator magazine is and what the Brown Republicans Club is about?
Yeah, the Spectator magazine has been around intermittently since the 80s, and it's basically a magazine that prints a lot of the conservative and libertarian thought, although it's not solely a conservative or libertarian magazine. It is a magazine that includes, many other, diverse parts of it. And the Republican clubs, it's a group of about 10 to 15 members that come regularly, and we discuss, various topics on campus. We discussed a lot about Rhode Island politics. We had some of the Rhode Island politicians come during election season. So it's mainly just a group of people that just hang out and just discuss politics much. So we call it a support group on campus too, because just to get away from a lot of the liberal heckler going on outside.
I see. So what is your take on politics at Brown in general?
I gotta say, when I came here, I was sort of surprisingly disappointed in the amount of politics going on at Brown, period. It wasn't even like that there was much, even liberal politics going on at all. Everyone just seemed to be very apathetic about everything that was going on. And there wasn't much going on at all. So the political atmosphere seemed to be somewhat dead.
Okay. So in terms of Heath's article about calling for more political diversity, how would you respond to that?
I mean, he has a good point, because the reason why there is such a lack of political demonstration is because everyone is always in the same agreeing. They all they maybe one up each other on how far to the left they are, but that's about it. You can't, if there's no one to really argue against or discuss the politics with it, the discussion dies. And unfortunately, at Brown, it's become the case. Everyone has the same views, so no one really discusses it anymore. And everyone just secretly agrees with everything that everyone else agrees with. So you have no open discussion because no one, is there to disagree with you. That's why, in my experience on campus, everyone they want to talk to you just because they know your views will be different, and it encourages discussion. Whereas, with most of friends, it's not the case. So with intellectual diversity, it would help to everyone. It helped both liberals and conservatives to, just increase in discussion as a whole.
Okay. So do you feel like the Spectator and the Brown Republicans Club are helping to bring that diversity to campus?
I mean, I think so. I'm certainly not trying to make it any worse. The Spectator, we try and publish, articles that, would generate a bit of not like a stir, but just would generate, attention across campus and would get people thinking in a way that they normally wouldn't. And for the Republican clubs, we generally try and bring some speakers on campus, with what we can with our budget, to encourage, people to be thinking about the various topics. We had Dinesh D'Souza come last year. He talked about God and atheism, and we have hopefully bringing people from the NRA this year and some other speakers, mainly just to fodder discussion and to just get everyone talking.
I see. So would you say that there are many opportunities on campus for Republicans and Democrats to come in contact with each other? Would you say, is there a lot of events that facilitate the kind of debate you were mentioning earlier?
I mean, I say the best chance you have for coming in contact with Republicans is if you run into Terrence or me in the street. That's about as close you're going to get to running into Republicans here. I'd say the Janus Forum usually brings a good mix of people. We usually have 5 or 6 members at each one of their lectures, which is nice. And at any events we put on, we usually have a good mix. But otherwise, unless you're running into one of your 15 token conservatives at Brown, you're really not going to find too much of a diverse atmosphere at all.
I see. So on a more personal level, I'd say, what is your experience just being on campus with so many liberal people?
It's kind of like if you guys ever seen I Am Legend. No, it's not that. You guys aren't quite zombies. No, I'm kidding. It's good. One of the funny things is everyone just like comes up to you and just like, oh, your views are so different. You know, what is your view on this? What is your view on this? What is your view on this? Like I feel like I'm a museum, you know, artifact. And was like, oh, I can't believe you think this. But generally, everyone seems to be very. Very few people, you know, will attack you that much for, you know, being conservative. A lot of people just are interested. The only downside is it does get sort of tiring. Sometimes people like only want to look at you for your politics. You know, we're more than just that, guys. And so everyone just will always, you know, you're the conservative person, so you know, we want to have you talk about this. But otherwise, everyone's really nice about it. I have no complaints about people are already here.
I see. So, you know, I think Brown really prides itself on being tolerant and open-minded. Would you say that transcends in its student body? Do you feel like students really are that way, or how are your views received on campus?
They're very tolerant of views that they like. There are certain things that aren't tolerated very much by the Brown community, and for example, if you're, you know, not for, you know, gay marriage, if you're pro-life, a lot of times those views get attacked a lot more. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that people are like intolerant of them, but are they very open to listening to people talk about that? Or are they open? I'd really, it's tough because people say if you're against gay marriage, well then you're homophobic or you're a bigot. So there is a bit of intolerance, but in general, most people seem to be pretty open to discussing.
Great. Well, thanks so much. We'll be back in a moment.